And so he gave it to MGM. And that's how Jackie the Lion got to be the spokesperson, if you will, for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. And that's Jackie the 7th or 8th. And he owned a place called World Jungle Compound out in the San Fernando Valley, out near Thousand Oaks. And he used to let cops come free, firemen come free. And my dad and he had been raised together in the hood, East LA. And so he took me out there. And of course, I wanted to wrestle with the lion. And there I am. And my mother's standing over here in a panic over here, afraid that the lion. And then we've got other pictures where the lion, I've actually got my head in the lion's mouth. You couple this with seeing my first dead body when I'm 6, and a bunch of other things. I'm not afraid of animals. And we were just in Oklahoma, seeing an old OCS buddy of mine, and he had a killer horse that everybody, this horse can't be broke. That's what all the Okies say. This fucking horse can't be broke. There ain't a man alive that can break this goddamn horse. Anyway, so I get up to it, and I didn't break the horse, but I mean, he didn't try to kill me, and he was nice to me, and because animals know I'm not afraid. And I've done it with lions. I've done it with tigers. I've done it with, you name it, and I've done it. Vicious dogs. And my cure for vicious dogs and donkeys and horses is I bite them in the ear. I bite them in the ear. I take part of their ear off with my teeth. For dogs, you stick your thumb in the roof of their mouth and you poke them in the eyes with the other 2 fingers. And I don't give a fuck who the dog is. The dog will drop to its fucking knees. But you're worried, well, what if he gets loose from the thumb and he bites your fingers off? That's what you'll be thinking. But it all started here. Or not, I'd already actually done it before that. And so I'm a product of my social and economic milieu. You're a product of your snowflake social and economic milieu. We've had kids in here that come through the seminar that have never been spanked, hit, been in a fight, schoolyard kind of fight, ever. Never. We have had kids come through the seminar, their goal in life is to get into a barroom brawl. And my recommendation to just about everyone that has had that, I wouldn't do that. It may be your first, last, and only barroom brawl. Because, they'll fucking rip your head off and shit down their neck. You're likely to be dead. When I was a kid in high school, I was the smallest in my group, by the way. All my buddies were bigger than me. And they used to send me into bars. And biker bars, military bars, and you know how you put a quarter down on a pool table because you're next for the pool table. I'd go and knock all the quarters. I'd spill beer on the pool table, and I'd run out in the parking lot. No, needless to say, the bar would bail out after me, and then my 3 or 4 buddies of mine would be standing there, all bigger than me, and they say, Mama, we're not brothers and sisters. Mama made us promise before she died that we would never let Danny get hurt. So you're going to have to come through us to get him. We got in a lot of fights. We got our ass kicked by a bunch of Marines one time. But that's life. But that's not normally. I got in a fight in a bar in the San Fernando Valley a long time ago when I was a kid, where we fought in the bar, just like in the movies, out into the parking lot, and they ripped my clothes off. And I'm sitting there in shorts, and they left me for dead in the parking lot. And then they went up and pinned my pants and what was left of my shirt with nails on the bar. Next time a college kid comes here, and just like in the movies, Clint Eastwood movie, I'm at the door. I'm back. Then they really thumped me that time. Then they give me a right fucking beating the next time. I should have stayed down. But if you've never experienced that kind of shit, everybody's got a plan, as Mike Tyson used to say, until I punch him in the face. Unless you're a really disciplined martial artist, and martial artists in a street fight will normally lose to a guy that's willing to bite your ear off and rip your eye out. Those sweeping kicks in the movies and in fucking are in the movies. Are in the fucking movies. And the toughest guys that I've ever gotten fights with are cowboys, bull riders. Fuck. They look skinny, mangy looking, but fuck, those cocksuckers are tough. Yeah. I was making fun of Bozeman, Montana, but I got in a fight in Montana a long time ago. Fucking little skinny, he looked like this. He looked like a zipper when he stuck his fucking tongue out. Boy, he thumped me fucking from here almost to hell. I would have made a deal with the devil that night. But if you've never gone through any of that, you know, I'm not recommending, I'm not suggesting. But one of the things that I do suggest for pain threshold is take up boxing. Take up boxing, I mean, where they really hit you, not where they fucking dance around. And it's great for your vascular system, but take up boxing. And until you've been hit in the solar plexus by somebody that knows how to hit, you don't know what fucking pain is. In fact, Mike Tyson talks about the story the first time he cried in the ring when the guy beat him up. Remember, he hit him in the solar plexus? Yeah, Google solar plexus, YouTube. But, I mean, you're right, if you know how to hit, I mean, but I'm a product of that, and I'm sure that if I had stayed in the barrio, I mean, as much trouble as I got in, and then even when we moved to the valley, I still got in a lot of fucking trouble. But it's, you know, it's different. And so when I volunteered in the draft when I was 20, people say it was either prison or the draft. That's not quite accurate. But if I had been left to my own devices, it might have been accurate. But I got in a lot of trouble, and so then I was flunking out of school. And so I decided, well, fuck, I might as well go keep communism from your doorstep, as they used to say in those days. In those days. And I'm glad I did. When I was in the beginning, the first 6 or 8 months, which are bullshit, what a waste of fucking time, I thought. I mean, because you were surrounded by mongoloid idiots, for the most part. You know, but then as I got into it and I got more senior and I went to officer school, then I realized, and I was an enlisted guy first. I wasn't a 90-day wonder. I was a 6-month wonder. I was a sergeant. I was E5 first, who went to officer school. And and I tell the kids, I mean, even though it's kind of flaky now, the military, but it's certainly better than what you're living at now. I mean, at least half of the kids, no, that's an exaggeration, a quarter of the kids that come here live at home still. I couldn't wait to get out of my house. So I left home when I was 17, a little more than 17. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to get a driver's license when I was 16. Now we got 25-year-old kids that don't have a driver's license. The world has shifted. And the parents have allowed it to happen. The parents have allowed it to happen. So there I am. Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. Once you realize that what you're going to be doing with QLA is possible, difficult, but possible. And once you get a few wins under your belt, life becomes limitless. There are no limits to what I know I can do. And that's transferable. And starting tomorrow, when we do a webinar tomorrow, right? What's today? Okay, what do we do tomorrow?
Sunday we have live on Sunday.
No, but what's tomorrow?
Then it's recorded.
Okay, recorded, but it's a webinar, but it's recorded. And when you see that other guys that are more or less like you are doing it, I mean, it opens up all kinds of possibilities. And virtually all the possibilities are good. All the possibilities are good. But now it's based on, you can actually see successes. In the early days, we didn't have, webinars and that kind of thing. Zoom calls, Skype, etc. How long has Skype been around? 10? Okay. Yeah. And they're great tools, kids. I mean, I'm telling you, they're great, great tools. But you got to use them. You got to use them. Now, tonight we eat in the main dining room. You'll have another film that is not dissimilar to the one you saw last night. Who's my 5 o'clock today? 6 o'clock? 7? Okay. And I'll see these three guys, these three gentlemen, for their private time and go through their paperwork and answer questions. And each one of you will have that same privilege, if you will, before you leave. And then your first weekly report will be due a week from this coming Sunday, midnight, no later than midnight my time. And if it's 1 minute past midnight, I don't read it. If it doesn't follow the format, I don't read it. If you put attachments to it, I don't read it. There's all kinds of guidelines. Very strict, very simple. 2-syllable words. Because, it's time-consuming reading 100, 125 of these a week. And so I want to be able to go through them as quickly as I can, following the same format. But we'll go into more detail in that. Any questions on anything so far that we've covered? Yes, sir. When they say they, who's they? Oh, okay.
Or diversify. There are successful people who diversify. They don't focus on one thing.
They diversify after they made a ton of money. They didn't make a ton of money diversifying. They made, and that's fine. After you got, and I'm not being facetious when I say this. After you got a few $100 million, fine, diversify. Let's stick to our knitting in the beginning. And and I'll tell you some stories tomorrow about the Onassis group, which I had the privilege of being with for a few years when I was being mentored by Konstantin Gratsos. And when I think about, I'm mentored by head of Onassis group, mentored by Jim Newman, Alicia Briggs, the partners with the Vatican, partners with the Dutch, Canadian, Japanese, Kuwaiti, U.S., Mexican, South African, Brazilian governments, partners. And not everybody that works for the government's an idiot. And the oil business is the last bastion of gunslingers. It's the last bastion of shoot to kill. It's the last gunslingers. The last gunslingers on the planet aren't venture capitalists, aren't private equity guys, aren't tech guys from Silicon Valley. They're the oil guys. They're the last bastion, of, aim, shoot. No, shoot, aim. Yeah, shoot, then aim. Shoot from the hip. And I was privileged, rightly or wrongly, of coming up in that industry quite by accident, coming from the second most gunslinger, Wall Street. So I just, had that. Plus I could sell. I learned to sell door to door, insurance. And and I had no fear. So it was a combination of all those things. And I was hungry. I was fucking hungry for money and the success that money brought. And that's how I got to meet 5 presidents and 5 secretaries of state and several heads of foreign governments, including Mrs. Thatcher here. All because of that. Some of it was because of the military. I was a bodyguard for Nixon in the late 60s when he came to visit NATO. Quite by serendipity, actually. And so I met, actually, with all the bad things they say about President Nixon, he was extremely presidential. He acted, talked, walked like a fucking president. He did. Yeah. And and I met President Clinton, and my mom said, don't say anything about anybody. If you're going to say bad things, don't say anything. So I met President Clinton. Trump acts, talks, and walks like the newborn president, the 21st century president, not like Nixon. I met President Kennedy before he was president. And I met Bush, too, who acted like a president. Excuse me, Bush 1, the old man, Bush 1. He was a neighbor of mine in Houston. Okay, YouTubers, we'll see you tomorrow.